I'm not going to comment live on air about sensitive negotiations. You'll understand that human lives hang in the balance. 240 hostages, including over 30 children, including 10 toddlers under the age of 5. There's a 10-month-old baby who is now being held hostage by Hamas in a dark tunnel somewhere. So we hope to get them home. We're doing everything we can to bring them home. And the less we say, the better, and the more likely we will be to secure their release.
Well, Israel says it has uncovered a Hamas command center, tunnels and ammunitions at the Shifa hospital. Some of the doctors are denying, and Hamas is also dismissing the finds. What's the Israeli government's reaction to these denials?
Look, the fact that Hamas denies it is not surprising. Hamas denies that it perpetrated the atrocities of October 7th. Hamas denies that it took civilians hostage. Hamas denies that its fighters have been killed. Hamas denies everything, okay? Hamas is not a credible source for anything. Now, as for the doctors inside the hospital, you have to understand, perhaps they're good people. I don't dispute that, but they are living under an authoritarian regime. Hamas is an authoritarian regime that dictates what people are allowed to say freely. And they know that they are not free to speak freely. And so whether or not those doctors are supporting Hamas, and the evidence shows that actually Hamas enjoys vast support among the Palestinian public, those doctors are not free to speak their minds. So the fact that they're not telling us, look, there's a Hamas compound in the basement, is not surprising. What I can confirm, we are revealing the evidence, we're exposing the evidence. This isn't the Wizard of Oz that we can pull back a curtain and say, ta-da, here is the whole vast Hamas tunnel complex. They've spent 16 years building these headquarters. They've had a month to prepare for us coming, and we will peel back the evidence and present it for the whole world to see.
Some Israelis, I'm told, are calling for the prime minister to resign because of what is going on. Are those calls legitimate, and what has been his reaction so far?
First of all, the Israeli public is right to be extremely angry about the failure that led to the October 7th massacre. This was the greatest tragedy in our country's history. And the Prime Minister has said that after the war, after we win this war, after Hamas is defeated, everyone is going to have to give the Israeli public answers, including him. Everyone will have to take responsibility. Everyone will be accountable. But for now, the Prime Minister says we're focusing on the questions that will help us prosecute and win this war. And that is the mission that we are focusing on now.
Well, Mr. Levy, there are calls by some in the international community for Israel to end its military offensive ongoing at the moment. What is Jerusalem saying about this?
In one word, no. There will be no end to the fighting that leaves our hostages in Gaza and Hamas in power. We will not go back to 6 in the morning on October 7th. We will not go back to a world in which Hamas can decide whenever it wants to invade Israel's villages, burn whole families alive, torture children in front of their parents, mutilate parents in front of their children, to rape little girls, to abduct our grandmothers, to behead babies. We will not go back to that world. There is only one way that this war can end, and that is with the total destruction of Hamas's military and governing capabilities in the Gaza Strip, so that Gaza can never pose a security threat to Israel. And as for the international community, we know that we have the good nations of the world behind us. The United States stands shoulder to shoulder with us, that the goal of this war must be the total destruction of Hamas. The Prime Minister of the UK has also said the UK wants Israel to win this war because they understand that the world is only safe when terrorists know that they cannot get away with committing such barbaric atrocities, when they know that if they try to hurt populations in democratic countries, those countries will come after them and will wipe those terrorists off the face of the earth. And that's exactly what we're going to do to Hamas. We're going to hunt every single monster involved in the October 7th massacre. We will bring them to justice and we will make them pay.